This week's show brought to you by Chenault & Hogue for all your insurance needs. Moses Incorporated, complete outdoor power equipment solutions. Welcome everybody to the Scott County Cardinals News Graphic Sweet 16 edition of the Coach's Show, where we will look at both the boys and the girls' chances as they head to Rupp Arena. It's a 2-week process. The boys will go first. Chances are by the time you watch this, the boys will be on the court or shortly thereafter for their game against Covington Catholic. If that sounds familiar, it should. They have played, the Colonels have the Cards in both the 2014 state final and the 2018 state final. Unfortunately for SC, Covcat came out on top in both of those. This is a first round matchup. If you know anything about Scott County's history, you know that under Coach Billy Hicks, they are 12-0 in first-round matchups, perfect, including last year's narrow victory over Trinity. They beat the Louisville Trinity Shamrocks on a late shot, 6 seconds to go in regulation by Cooper Robb. Cooper's about the only guy that was a main contributor to that team that's no longer part of the program. Of course, he's moved on to UNC Charlotte, but this is a senior-dominated group getting ready to play a much different Covcath team, a team that lost basically 4 of its 5 starters and 57 points per game that graduated last year out of that lineup. So it's a totally different cast, almost totally different cast, but very tall across the board. It'll be a tall order in many senses of the word, but it's a game where Scott County needs to control the tempo. Covcath has done a good job. They're one of the most efficient teams in the state in terms of field goal percentage. So it's going to be a defensive challenge for SC. But if they can control the tempo and force some turnovers and get out in the open floor, SC should be fine. It's a 1:30 start on Thursday. Looking at the rest of the bracket, we don't like to look ahead, but we will for the purposes of this show. Potentially a matchup with Louisville Butler on Friday night. If they can get that far, that would be a 6:30 start. The semifinals will be a 9 o'clock game on Saturday night. If Scott County makes it to that point, and looking down the road, you can see maybe a rematch in the same spot they played Warren Central last year. There's a chance they could meet them again in the semifinals, so some things lined up there. It's a lot like last year in that it's a tough game in round 1, and if Scott County can survive it, things might open up a little getting to the final where potentially Trinity or John Hardin, someone of that nature, awaits. So it's going to be a challenge to win 4 consecutive days, but if any team can do it, it's SC. Of course, they come in with a 32-3 record. They won the 11th region in convincing fashion, avenging a loss in the district final to Henry Clay. Won that one by 20, so they are fired up going into states. The following week, it'll be the girls. They will start on Wednesday, March 13th. Of course, they beat Henry Clay for the 4th time this year in the region final to get there for the 2nd consecutive year. This time it is at Rupp. Last year, of course, the girls were at NKU. No longer. It's at the same site as the boys. And they will take on Knott County Central at noon. Very first game of the tournament on Wednesday the 13th. Certainly, SC hopes it'll be a lucky 13 for them as they take on the one of the teams from the mountains. And they should be, I hate to say it, but a fairly heavy favorite, SC, in that game. And things have opened up a little bit. A lot of teams that were expected to get this far did not. So I think a lot of people were looking ahead maybe to a 2nd-round matchup with E-Town. That's not going to be the case because they lost in their region finals. So hopefully if SC can get its feet wet and get some momentum, good things could happen. They would have a day off before their quarterfinal game, which would also be on a Friday afternoon. And then it would go Saturday and Sunday as well. Some of the other favorites in that tournament, Ryle. Of course, Scott County has been kind of neck and neck with them as the 1 and 2 teams in the state all year. Boyd County, they have the Miss Basketball, Kentucky Miss Basketball, and Savannah Wheelers. So there's a couple of threats right there. Some of the teams, the one team that beat Scott County this year, Lincoln County, went down in its region semifinals, and they were replaced by Pulaski Southwestern, who SC defeated during the regular season. So playoffs are unpredictable. That has been proven out on the girls' side of things, and SC will have to pay attention to detail in each game. But certainly as good a chance as anyone of running the table, and just exciting to have both these teams here. No other team in the state, no other school in the state can say that they have both teams in the Sweet 16 on both sides. Of course, last year only Scott County and Boyd County pulled that off, but this year Scott County stands alone And it would be quite a thing to have one or both of them win a state title. I want to encourage you to get out to Rupp Arena and support these kids, especially on the girls' side. It was notable that the crowds weren't the same at EKU for the girls' games, and to me, that's just unacceptable. This team is doing special things, awesome things, and you need to get out and support them as well as the boys. Hope to see you at Rupp Arena. Certainly, if you can't be there, we'll keep you updated on our Twitter feed, and of course after the game you can find the score, the summary, photos, all that stuff online, and knock on wood, if either team wins, we'll have some commemorative editions going forward. So stay with News Graphic and newsgraphic.com for all the fun and excitement of the Sweet 16 at Rupp Arena. Until then, here's some comments from both Coach Helton and Coach Hicks regarding their expectations going into the tournament.
The Lady Cards hope their explosiveness and experience will lead to a state title at hallowed Rupp Arena.
Tempo, tempo, tempo. I mean, we wanted to get this game going. We wanted to get the game. We feel more comfortable in the 80s and 90s. And, great representation of the 42nd District. Two teams. That's our fourth battle right there. And hats off to Henry Clay. But, man, our kids, we played in spurts. We still got some things we get to work on. It's got bowl season though, because now we're going to a bowl game, and so now we get another week of practice. So I'm excited about. We'll probably take tomorrow off, and then we're going to get back to work on Thursday morning, and get ready to see what happens next. So good Lord has blessed us all year long, and we're really proud of our team, our community, and our administration who's here. It was a good win for us. Kids grow up. I mean, Northern had a beautiful facility. Western was a beautiful facility. Kids grow up wanting to play at Rupp Arena. So once our kids take a deep breath, and I believe we're the first game of the entire tournament. So it's going to take us a few minutes to take it all in. But to play in the same facility of one of the greatest programs in the country, we're excited just to be there. We're excited to be one of the 16 teams.
Scott County survived a tough path to its third consecutive boys Sweet 16.
We're getting better. We had a tough schedule the last few weeks. That was a decent championship. That was like a road game last Friday night. There wasn't no neutral court last Friday night. It was really a tough atmosphere, tough situation. But what it did, it woke us up a little bit. How hard we have to play on defense. We got a chance. That's all you want's a chance. We've been number one all year, so obviously we got a pretty good chance to do it. But state tournament must be challenges, and it'll be a tough one next week against the winner tonight.